The sun begins to peek through the blinds of a quiet, modern bedroom, casting a soft glow on the walls. For a brief moment, there is peace, a sanctuary of silence before the day begins. But within reach, a small glass rectangle sits on the nightstand, humming with unseen energy. It is the first thing we look for, even before our eyes are fully adjusted to the light. This simple morning ritual marks the beginning of an invisible battle for our attention. We believe we are just checking the time or a few messages, but the brain is already preparing for its first hit.
As his hand reaches out to grasp the device, the silence of the room is shattered by a barrage of notifications. A like on a photo, a breaking news alert, and a flurry of group chat messages compete for his immediate awareness. The screen glows brightly, reflected in his eyes as he begins the first scroll of the day. This is the trigger, the moment the brain shifts from a state of rest to a state of high arousal seeking. Every red badge and every vibration sends a tiny signal to the primal parts of the mind. The day hasn't even truly started, yet the digital world has already claimed its first victory. What he doesn't feel is the chemical surge happening behind his forehead. Deep within the brain, the ventral tegmental area is pumping out dopamine, the neurotransmitter of more. Social media isn't designed to make us happy, it's designed to make us search. It exploits a prehistoric survival mechanism called a variable reward schedule. Just like a slot machine, the uncertainty of what the next scroll will bring keeps the brain hooked. Will it be a funny video, a piece of gossip, or an interesting fact? The brain doesn't care about the quality, it only cares about the potential for a reward. Minutes turn into an hour, and the physical world begins to blur into the background. The cup of coffee on his desk has gone cold, and the work he intended to start remains untouched. This is the cost of the infinite scroll. When the brain is constantly flooded with these small dopamine spikes, it begins to rewire its expectations. The threshold for what feels interesting starts to rise, making real-world tasks feel dull and agonizingly slow. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logic and focus, begins to lose its grip on his priorities. Notice how his posture has changed, his shoulders hunched, and his gaze locked in a fixed state. This is more than just a habit. It is a neurological bypass. The constant switching between short-form videos and bite-sized posts trains the brain to have a shorter attention span. We are teaching ourselves that if something doesn't provide instant gratification within 3 seconds, it isn't worth our time. This fragmentation of focus is why finishing a book or a deep work project feels harder than it did a decade ago. Our neural pathways are being paved for speed, not depth. The conflict reaches its peak as frustration begins to seep in. He knows he has things to do, yet the thumb continues to move of its own accord. This is the procrastination trap. The brain perceives the difficult task ahead as a threat to its current dopamine supply. To avoid the pain of mental effort, it retreats back into the comfort of the screen. It is a loop that feeds itself. The more we procrastinate, the more anxious we feel, and the more we use social media to numb that very anxiety. The cycle is complete, and the brain is effectively held hostage by its own reward system. Deep in the climax of this digital trance, his brain's gray matter is actually changing. Studies suggest that heavy social media use can lead to a decrease in the density of the prefrontal cortex, the very area we need to say no to the scroll. It's a paradox. The more we use these platforms to connect, the more we isolate our cognitive functions from the real world. He is physically present in his apartment, but mentally, he is miles away in a curated digital void. The connection to his own goals and his own sense of time has been completely severed. Then comes the moment of sudden clarity, the breaking point. He catches his reflection in the dark screen as a video ends, and for a second, he sees the vacant expression on his own face. The realization hits like a cold wave. He has spent hours chasing shadows, while his real life waits in the wings. This is the wake-up moment that many of us experience, but few act upon. The brain is tired, overstimulated, and hungry for real meaning rather than digital noise. He feels the weight of the phone in his hand, not as a tool, but as an anchor holding him back.
With a conscious effort, he takes a deep breath and performs the hardest action of the day. He puts the phone face down on the table. The silence of the room rushes back in, and at first it feels uncomfortable, almost itchy. This is the withdrawal phase, where the brain screams for the stimulation it has been denied. But as he sits there, the fog begins to lift. By choosing to step away, he is allowing his neurochemistry to reset. The brain is remarkably plastic. Just as it was rewired to crave distraction, it can be retrained to value presence and focus.
He stands up and walks to the window, looking out at the world with fresh eyes. The resolution isn't about deleting every app or living in a cave. It's about reclaiming the driver's seat of his own mind. He begins to engage in a single, focused task, perhaps just tidying his space or writing a single sentence. The hit of dopamine from finishing a real-world task is slower to arrive, but it lasts much longer and leaves him feeling satisfied rather than drained. This is the path back to a focused life, one intentional choice at a time.
The moral of the story is simple. Your attention is the most valuable currency you possess, and there are billion-dollar industries designed to steal it. Understanding the science of how your brain is rewired is the first step towards freedom. When you understand the dopamine loop, you can start to break it. You have the power to reshape your neural pathways by choosing boredom over a scroll and deep work over a notification. Your brain is a masterpiece of evolution. Don't let it be reduced to a series of clicks and swipes. Take back your time. If you found this look into the human brain helpful, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs a digital reset. We want to hear from you. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to social media? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the science of being human. Remember, the world is much bigger than the screen in your pocket. Put the phone down, look up, and start living. We'll see you in the next video.